Hello and how you doing, and welcome back to Two Jagoffs. I am your host, Austin Carnes. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Super Bowl special. This is the most requested episode of the year. Last year, we had record numbers here on Two Jagoffs for the Super Bowl special, and we had an all-star panel. And today, not only do we have yet another all-star panel, but we have an all-star matchup that is going to be played later on today in New Orleans. Before I bring on my special guest that I'm going to be talking with today and debating and discussing the Super Bowl, let's break down the initial matchup. It is the reigning, defending, four-time, back-to-back, looking for the three-peat, Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, taking on the team that is looking for revenge from 2 years ago, that being the Philadelphia Eagles, who are younger, stronger, and tougher than ever. It is going to be a match made in heaven later on tonight in New Orleans. Now, it would be a shame to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs without bringing on the biggest Chiefs fan here in the Steel City. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the first Jagoff joining me today, my dad. Dad, how is it going today?
The champ is here.
You're quoting the best wrestler of all time, John Cena. I love
to be the man, you must beat the man.
And now you're quoting Ric Flair.
Therefore, you must beat the Chiefs, Lucas.
Well, Lucas isn't on just yet, but Dad, it is an exciting matchup today. Your Chiefs are looking to make history, being the first team ever in NFL history to three-peat. What's that like?
It's a good feeling, and we'll get into that later because I've been a fan since '84, and they were pretty terrible back then. So it's a great feeling.
It's a great feeling.
Great time to be a Chiefs fan.
It's a dynasty now.
Terrible time to be a Steelers fan, though.
Well, we're not talking about the Steelers today. They're pathetic. They're not here. But we're going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. And I feel like to talk about the Chiefs a little bit more, we should bring back the same all-star panel we had last year. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the third Jagoff of today's episode, Lucas Coons. Lucas, it's been a busy week for you, man. You've been on the radio show, you've been on Inside the Ring, and now you're back here at your home here in Two Jagoffs. How's everything going with you?
It's going good. I'm getting a little tired of you, but that's all right.
I know. I'm surprised. We've talked on the phone every single day this week, and we've seen each other 3 out of the 7 days. It's absolutely crazy, but man, we've been pumping out content like crazy. So glad to have you here. But we're not alone today. We are bringing on a fourth Jagoff for today. Yeah, you may as well change 2 Jagoffs to 4 Jagoffs, because here on the Super Bowl special, joining us is a very special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the man who's very unpredictable, Mr. Jack Dean. Mr. Jack Dean, how's it going?
Oh, it's going all right.
Now, I'll be honest with you. I know you don't know too much about football, but I feel like you're going to bring some level of expertise here. Isn't that right?
Oh, yeah, I'm here to start some drama.
Okay.
Do you like the Steelers?
Who's asking?
The silence speaks volume.
There you go.
Silence speaks volume, Dad. All right, so let's get into the initial matchup first. So when we take a look at this team, we got 2 powerhouses, arguably the 2 biggest teams. Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones. Philadelphia Eagles, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown. Dad, I'm going to go to you on this one first. Without doing any predictions yet, we're going to break down specific matchups here in this game. Is this the ideal Super Bowl matchup?
Yes, it is. I believe the Eagles were the best team in the NFC most of the season, especially after picking up Barkley. I believe they had the best chance to win the Super Bowl. So I believe, yes, this is the best matchup. And obviously, I said all year, I thought Kansas City was the best team in the AFC. Despite all the haters with the refs and the drama and all that crap, I don't even want to hear about that. Kelce called out the media. I got to quote Trump. Fake news. That's all they report on anymore. Fake news. The media is no longer facts. They're giving their personal opinions. I don't want to hear your personal opinions. I want facts. That's why I watch news. That's why I watch broadcasters. I want to see facts, not fake news.
Is this the ideal Super Bowl matchup, Lucas?
It's not the Super Bowl I thought we were going to get, but I think it'll be exciting to see how the rematch goes.
Maybe the listeners should hear about your Super Bowl block pool that you had with Austin, how bad it was. How many? Who did you have winning in that block pool, out of curiosity? Who was your AFC and NFC teams?
Bills versus Lions.
How'd that work out for you?
Not great.
Okay, cool.
Not great. Look,
But
was
I
it true?
wasn't delusional, though. I chose two of the best teams on each side.
Time out. Wasn't it true, and I'm going to call you out on it, that your mother had a better pool than you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Because of me.
Good job to Carrie. Let's give one for Carrie, guys. Come on.
That's awesome. All right, well, yes, I will agree with you, gentlemen. This was the ideal Super Bowl matchup. I mean, you take a team with the best running back in football in Saquon Barkley, a guy that can run through practically any defense, any formation, any line. He can beat you at the line of scrimmage anytime, any place. Philadelphia is a powerhouse on offense. But not just that, we have to look at this young defense as well. They have a relatively young defense. Outside of C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Darius Slay, There's multiple rookies on this team, a couple of undrafted players, some second-year players. This is a young secondary, and they're going to give the Kansas City offense a pretty hard time, as they've done throughout this entire course of the playoffs. They gave Washington a hard time. They gave Detroit a hard time. They gave so many different teams a hard time throughout the regular season. I'm excited to see this matchup. But yes, this is the ideal Super Bowl matchup. Kansas City's on the verge of making history. Philadelphia's on the verge of having revenge. This is the matchup we all want to see.
Excuse me for a moment. Lucas, can you back me up on this? He's talking about this secondary giving the Chiefs offense some trouble, correct? Is that what he said?
Yes.
Can you help me out with that?
Yeah.
Who did they face in the NFC? Jared Goff, who's god-awful, and Jaden Daniels in his rookie season. Is any of them as good as Mahomes, Lucas? I'm just asking out of curiosity. In your opinion.
This season alone, I'd say Jaden
Well,
Daniels is a better
did-
quarterback.
Well,
but
Philadelphia did
all
not
time-
play Jared Goff in the playoffs, first of all. He played Matthew Stafford, Jordan Love, and Jaden Daniels. There's your correction. Number two, I'm not saying that they are given a hard time. I'm saying that's something we should
Listen,
take
this
into
is going to come down to
consideration.
one thing. Mahomes magic.
Okay. That brings me into my next question then. When we take a look at both of these teams, the stars are going to be out and the stars are going to be bright. Both
Shine.
of these teams are full of stars. Lucas, you get the floor on this one first. Which player on the Chiefs are you looking forward to seeing, and what player on the Eagles are you looking forward
Please
to seeing?
don't tell me who you said on that radio show, buddy.
I'm going to say exactly who I said on the radio show.
Oh, good Lord.
It's someone I'm excited to watch, not who I think needs to step up this game.
Tell him to stay in bonds. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead.
I'm excited to watch Xavier Worthy.
Who can't stay in bonds? Can he keep 2 feet in bonds, Austin?
Nope.
Go
I'm
ahead.
allowed to be excited to watch him, though.
All right, you're allowed.
And then for the Eagles, I'm excited to watch Saquon Barkley.
Who isn't? Good call. I'm excited to see the big guy, Travis Kelce. This might be his last Super Bowl. I'm excited to see him having a big game, and obviously Mahomes. But I'm also looking forward to seeing Justin Reed and Chris Jones and that defense stepping up to the challenge, and the tushy-pushy or whatever the heck they call it in Philly, because Jalen Hurts don't like that. He said that's what the media calls it. But I'm looking forward to how that defense stacks up against them. And Barkley, Lucas said it best. I mean, who doesn't want to see this guy?
Absolutely.
Even though he went to Penn State.
Yeah, absolutely. Saquon Barkley is most certainly a player that I'm looking forward to seeing as well. But I'm actually looking forward to seeing Jalen Hurts in this game, but it's for a bit of a different reason than you guys are thinking. Look, Jalen Hurts, beginning of the season, had a turnover issue. He averaged about either 1 interception or 1 fumble a game, and that was a major concern for me. That was one of the main reasons why I wasn't looking at Philadelphia as a Super Bowl contending team early on this season, because I was worried that Jalen Hurts would cost his team games time and time again. Then once he came back from that second injury, he only turned the football over twice. One of them being a deflected pass that led to an interception, and the other being a fumble in the NFC Championship. So Jalen Hurts has done a relatively good job at playing conservative and keeping the football secure. If he can do that in the Super Bowl matchup, Chiefs may be in trouble. But that's if Jalen Hurts can protect the football. See, Patrick Mahomes, I'm not too worried about him turning over the football, because even if he does turn over the football, I trust the Chiefs defense enough to get the stops that's needed to get Mahomes back on the field, to get that offense back on the field. I don't know if I could say the same about Philadelphia. A player that you're both forgetting, though, for the Eagles as well, that we should be looking out for is Jalen Carter. Look, we talk about the Chris Joneses, we talk about the TJ Watts, the Myles Garretts of the world. Jalen Carter does not get enough love. Jalen Carter has been an absolute monster this season. He's had double-digit sacks, double-digit tackles. Jalen Carter is an incredible talent. It's going to be nice to see how he stacks up against this Chiefs offensive line, who's honestly one of the best in the entire league. 3 out of the 5 linemen were in the Pro Bowl this year for good reason, because that line did a great job at protecting Patrick Mahomes. And when you look at the Chiefs, I mean, the easy answer is Superman himself, Patrick Mahomes. Who doesn't want to see Mahomes' magic put it all out there on the football field? Travis Kelce, the greatest tight end that's ever graced the NFL. I'm looking forward to seeing DeAndre Hopkins in his first ever Super Bowl. Talk about the most humble guy in the NFL. A guy who has been loyal to every team he's went to, even though the 3 teams that he was at prior gave nothing to him. I'm talking the Texans, the Cardinals, and Titans. DeAndre Hopkins is not just overall a great player, but a great guy. So being able to have that kind of energy in your locker room, on your team, and especially on your sideline when Super Bowl nerves are going to be setting in, that gives the Chiefs all the advantage in the world. You really can't say the same about this Philadelphia Eagles team. Yeah, sure, they've been there before, but are they going to find the way to win? We're just going to find out later on tonight. Mr. Jack Dean, what do you think about all this?
Honestly, I'm really excited to see Jalen Hurts.
Boo!
Yeah.
Let the man speak. He let you speak.
Come on now.
So Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Is there a
absolutely.
reason why you're looking forward to Jalen Hurts?
No reason.
No reason?
No.
All right. I'm not going to question you any further.
Actually, to go back to what Austin said, and I agree, I do like Jalen Hurts. But to go back to what Austin said about D-Hop, I'm excited to see if he wins his first Super Bowl. He's not that he ain't getting in the Hall of Fame. He's going to make the Hall of Fame. But that'd be nice to have on his resume.
I mean, Jack brings up a good point with Jalen Hurts. I mean, he does have to play good this game if they really want a chance to compete because, pre-injury, he was turning over the ball a lot, throwing a lot of interceptions, fumbling a lot. Since that injury, though, he's been relatively clean on the field. But he needs to have a good passing game or else they don't really stand much of a chance in this game.
See, I kind of disagree. The only time that he did get good was when he got called out in the media by both of his receivers. That's when he started playing well.
Yeah, but that was also around the same time he came back from
injury. But I'm just saying, he came back from his injury, played a game or two, stunk it up the joint, and then they called him out, and then he started passing the ball. But, I mean, going back to look at their playoff record, like going through, they struggled against the Packers. They struggled against L.A. They were one play away from losing that game. And then the Commanders, I mean, they pounded the Commanders, but, I mean, I think a lot of that had to do with coaching. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see, that's for sure.
Look, and here's something else we have to look out, gentlemen, when we're talking about both these teams. On paper, ideally, the Philadelphia Eagles are the better football team. They have the better offense. They have the better defense. They have the better system. There's no denying it. The Philadelphia Eagles are the better football team. But the reason why the Chiefs are favored in this game, the reason why the Chiefs are the team that's most likely to win this matchup, the reason why the Chiefs are on a lot of people's betting logs this week is because of concerns. The two biggest concerns for me for the Philadelphia Eagles goes as follows. Number one is that offensive line. Did we forget that Dickerson and Lane Johnson have both been on and off the field during the course of the playoffs? That is two of their starting offensive linemen. Two future Hall of Famers. Two former Super Bowl champions. They've been in 2 Super Bowls before. These are big guys. This offensive line averages a height of 6'8" and 320 pounds. That's a big offensive line.
Big son bitch.
That's a big son bitch. Exactly. That's a big offensive line that you got to worry about. And Saquon Barkley is the guy that is running behind that offensive line. So the Chiefs got to be concerned about that. But I don't think the Chiefs really got to worry too much because with them being on and off the field and subbing in a bunch of backup players, they really haven't had much playing time this year. So Chiefs could exploit that very easily. The other thing that I'm concerned about, honestly, is wide receiver progression. I mean, you go back to the Rams game, A.J. Brown had only 30 yards, and Devontae Smith had less than 10. Then you go back a week prior, both almost had 100 yards. So if the wide receivers can be consistent, and that's not fully on them, that's mostly on Hurts, it's on Sirianni, you can blame whoever. They got to distribute the football to these receivers. Look, the Eagles can spread the field. They have a bunch of different players to get the ball to. They have the dual threat tight end Dallas Goedert, one of the blessed at both blocking and receiving. You got Saquon Barkley who can do everything. You got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, who's a former Heisman Trophy first-round pick in my eyes. Jalen Hurts, second-round quarterback that a lot of people disrespected coming out of college, showed why he is a first-round caliber player. They have a lot of guys they can spread the field with. The question that raises, though, are they going to do it? And if they do it, how are they going to do it? Because guess what? The Kansas City Chiefs, they also got stars on defense. Dad, you pointed out Chris Jones and Justin Reed. I'll throw out another one that gets disrespected a lot. Nick Bolton. Nick Bolton is another player to keep an eye on. There are so many different. Trent McDuffie is another one. This team is loaded with talent. And the final point that I want to bring up on why the Eagles should be concerned, I want to read you guys a stat real quick. Defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, Vic Fangio, as great as he's been and as phenomenal as he's done at coaching this defense, he is 0-8 against the Kansas City Chiefs in his career. 0-8. Vic Fangio. That's a concern for me. Floor is yours.
Go ahead, bud. What do you got?
He says the floor is yours.
Well, it's all you. You first.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a concern, but, even with the on and off between, going back to your offensive lineman point, on and off the field, Barkley's still been able to find a way around this field all season. So, yeah, it's concerning. It could definitely pose a struggle, but I'm still kind of more worried about the wide receiver room than I am the running back room. I think no matter what, Barkley is going to be able to find a way. He did it in New York. He's going to be able to do it in Philadelphia. And, the 0-8, the coaching thing, 0-8, yeah, it is what it is, I guess. It sucks, and it definitely is a stat to look at, but, yeah, once again, that doesn't really pose a threat to me. Because if the coach is 0-1, would you be, he's 0-1? Oh, he's 0-8. Yeah, it's a lot more losses. But
It's not just that he's 0-8. Here's the thing. He's 0-8 in his career. Not just with the Philadelphia Eagles. Keep in mind, Vic Fangio was the former head coach of the Denver Broncos. He was in that division. Played the Chiefs twice a year. The Chiefs have blown him out and beat them time and time again. Steve Spagnuolo has 1 up on Vic Fangio. He actually has 8 up on Vic Fangio. Same with Andy Reid. This is a major concern for me. Look, defense is what wins you games. Defense is what wins you championships. And if your defensive coordinator is 0-8 against arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, arguably the greatest head coach of all time, arguably the greatest dynasty of all time, I'm sorry, Lucas, that's a concern for me. That is a major, major concern.
Jack, do you have a brother?
Yeah.
What?
Or is he older or younger?
He's younger.
Okay, so what do you do to your brother? You beat up on him, right? That's
Yeah.
what brothers do. They beat up on him. These two don't have brothers. They have no idea what me and you were talking about.
Okay.
You know what my brother did when I was younger? He beat the shit out of me. You know why? Because that's what older brothers do. And that's what Josh Allen is to Patrick Mahomes. He's the younger brother he beats up on. So, yes, that does matter because if you're 0 something against the team, guess what? It's like when you think you got big enough and you're going to fight your brother and you're going to beat your brother up this time. Guess what? Smacks you back down to reality. 0-8, that is very concerning. I didn't know that stat. I'd be worried on Philly's defense. If he's 0-8 against Kansas City, whoo! Basically, you're telling me you can't beat him. That's all it's telling me. You can't beat him.
Look, there's another big part of this game that we have to break down, gentlemen. We're talking about both of these teams. Dad, you kind of briefly touched on it earlier, and I want to finally break down this discussion on here. This was a major debate I actually had on my other podcast, Steel City Commuters with Nicholas Brown. Nick is a very strong advocate in terms of officiating. He believes that officiating across all major sports, especially in the NFL, has been atrocious, which I fully agree on. But there are some people who believe out there that the Kansas City Chiefs get favored in calls compared to other teams and get favored in calls compared to, I guess, their opponents in big-time matchups. Dad, I'm going to go to you on this one first. Obviously, you kept up with the Chiefs all year. You watched every game. You're dripped in all your Kansas City gear. Do you believe that the Chiefs have been given calls this year, and do you think that should be a concern for both teams in the Super Bowl?
Absolutely not. I believe I sent you the video. I didn't have your number, Lucas, or I sent it to you. It was Greeny from ESPN. They asked him, I believe it was McAfee, asked him if he believes that the games are fixed now with sports betting. Because that's what everybody's going around saying, and the media's pushing a narrative. That's why I brought up the Trump reference. Everybody's pushing this narrative. And they've called it out at the Super Bowl. Why are we talking about it? It's not there. To fix a game, just so you guys understand a professional sport or even any sport, to fix a game, hypothetically, a lot of people would have to be involved in that fix. And there's young men who's a little bit older than you guys that are playing this sport. They have the love for this sport. They are not going to throw away all that hard work to get to a game to throw it for money. It's not happening. There would have to be so many people involved in a football game for a fix to be in. Okay, and then the other thing I think Greeny brought up was a very interesting point. When Jordan was there, okay, yeah, the greater players, the greater teams sometimes get that 50-50 call, we'll call it. Like that in football, where let's say it's Russell Wilson and they're playing the Chiefs. Mahomes gets hit in the head. Yeah, he's the face of the NFL. Guess what? You're going to get that flag every time because he's the face of the NFL. Russell Wilson, a little more questionable. If it's a 50-50 call, they may not call it against Russell Wilson. And I'm just saying, he's the face of the league. He's going to get that call. I'm not saying that they're fixing games, but if it's very close to 50-50, he's getting the call. And all that the media is pushing is they're trying to push this narrative. That way they have something to talk about. Because they're really not talking about the game itself. They're talking about if the refs are fixing. Refs are human beings, number one. They make mistakes just like anybody else in any other sport or any other job or anywhere. Nobody's perfect. Has it been bad all across sports? Yes. So what, do you tell me that the soccer game was fixed? Or you tell me the basketball game was fixed? You tell me this game was fixed? I don't buy into the fixed problem. I just don't buy into it, not at all. I'm not saying that as a Chiefs fan. So you're telling me the World Series was fixed? Because was big gambling. I can't buy into the fixed part of it all. I just think the sports broadcasters need to report on the facts and find other stories and just let the players play and interview the players in the game.
Yeah, I never really agreed on the whole fixing thing. I mean, they definitely get calls that are questionable, and you can find exact hits from other teams that don't get it. But at the end of the day, I don't think that there's any incentive for it. Like you said, it's the face of the company, or the face of the NFL, so they're going to be a little bit more givey to him than some players that not most fans even know the name of.
Look, here's the thing with the Kansas City Chiefs and the officials. I will sit up here and say this. The Chiefs most certainly get calls that other teams don't get calls. That's number one. We can look at the Cincinnati game for an example there. There was a clear pass interference that was not called. We can look at the Kyle Pitts game with Atlanta. That was a clear no call as well. Kansas City should have lost the game to the Falcons. But to sit up here and say the officials gave games to the Kansas City Chiefs and to sit up here and say the officials rigged the game for the Chiefs to be back in the Super Bowl with three-peats, I'm sorry, I don't believe that. Yes, I get it, the bookies in Vegas wants their money. Yes, I get it, people are putting tens of thousands of dollars on the line here. But to sit up here with a straight face and even, I guess, assume the fact that a team like the Chiefs is getting favored just by officials, by calls, it's blasphemous. I'm sorry, it is absolutely blasphemous. Look, all great players get calls. Tom Brady got those questionable calls. Michael Jordan got those questionable calls. LeBron James, Wayne Gretzky, Babe Ruth, all the great players that you can name get calls. So yes, Patrick Mahomes does get calls. If you're gonna sit up here with a straight face and say Patrick Mahomes doesn't get calls, clearly you're not watching the Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs do get calls, but do they get game-defying calls, Lucas? Do they get game-defying calls, Mr. Jack Dean? Do they get game-defying calls, Dad? No, they don't. They do not get game-defying calls at all because the Kansas City Chiefs win games. They find a way to win. Patrick Mahomes is titled Superman for a reason. He's known for putting his team on his back, battling down in the trenches, and winning the football game. The Chiefs had every game this year, most of them came down to a field goal, a touchdown, or one possession. The Chiefs found a way to win. You're going to sit up here and say the officials were the one that predetermined those close results every single time? You're going to tell me that Buffalo Bills game, oh, well, Worthy dropped the ball. Josh Allen clearly got the first down. The Chiefs rigged that game. The Chiefs rigged them. Okay, you're going to tell me the 2 interceptions that were dropped at the beginning of the game, those are also fixed too. Josh Allen clearly shaking in his boots, clearly shaking in his cleats, setting the tone early on for the game. No. The Kansas City Chiefs found ways to win games. You want to know how they found ways to win games? Because they are great. Andy Reid is great. Patrick Mahomes is great. That is why they've won football games this year. So to push the narrative that the officials have anything to do at all with winning these games, it's just blasphemy.
All right, hey, to go back to what you were saying now. First off, and I should have started this off. We have 3, count them, 1, 2, 3 Jagoffs, all went to the same school district here. And we're talking about who we all should be rooting for this weekend. Justin Watson, Southfayette's own, guys. What are we doing? We're not even rooting for him? I mean, come on, you're Southfayette. That's my alma mater. That's who I'm going to be rooting for this week. I would love to see a touchdown from Justin Watson. I had to bring this up because I'm looking at you two like, I'm waiting on one of them to say it. Southfayette's own. I know it's got to be up in the school, right? They got something for him up there?
I believe they do.
Good. You know who else was Southfayette's own to play for the Kansas City Chiefs? Little history lesson for you two. Jonathan Hayes, 1985.
Wow.
Played for the Chiefs. The second most reason why I love the Chiefs so much. Went to Southfayette. Anyways, to go back to this ref situation, I had to throw that out there about Southfayette's own. And just so you guys know, what I say when Justin Watson catches the ball, what do I say, Austin?
Southfayette represent.
There we go. I'm going to be hopefully saying that a lot today. Sorry.
Today.
Sunday. Anyways, Jack, pretty smart kid. Seemed like it.
Nah, I don't know about that.
Do you know how to spell assume?
What?
Do you know how to spell assume?
Maybe.
A-S-S-U-M-E. You ever done this in school when you guys were younger? When you assume something, you make an ass out of you and me. So let's not assume that these refs fix any of these games. And let's not assume that anybody is part of this. We talk about the Buffalo game. You brought up the Buffalo game. Glad you brought that up.
Absolutely.
Because I'm getting a text. Oh, Josh Allen, first down. I sent 3 pictures to my buddy. Face mask never called on the Chiefs. Listen, they miss calls all the time.
Facts.
I've told Austin this. You could call holding on every play in the NFL. Every play somebody's holding. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
Because you're supposed to have your hands in. They always grab jerseys, they always hook the arms, blah, blah, blah. With that being said, the refs are not fixing the games. Quit pushing the narrative. Last time the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl, you know the narrative they wanted to push? I'm tired of seeing Taylor Swift. I'm tired of Taylor Swift. Sick of that narrative,
Look, here's
too.
the thing. I am going to cut you off.
Self-made billionaire, by the way.
I am going to cut you off here, though. There is one thing. Absolutely, you're 100% right with the fact that the Chiefs are not getting rigged games. The officials are not rigging games to win games. But something we do have to address, Mahomes does get calls. You cannot sit up here with a straight face and say Patrick Mahomes does not get calls.
I just told you Jordan got it when Jordan won 6 titles.
That was the point that I brought. All great players get calls. And Mahomes,
they get the 50-50 call.
They get
the 50-50 call.
We're going to say calls. They do get calls. Because Patrick Mahomes got a call in the Houston game. I will say this, that the officials, I wouldn't say this rigged the game for the Chiefs, but this is most certainly a game. This makes you wonder, like, man, is there really something fishy going on?
See, that doesn't make me wonder. I'll tell you what makes me wonder. What was the score of that last game? What was the line? Does anybody know? It was 9.5. You know what they won by? 9. You know how they won?
That's what I was just about to say.
They ran out of bounds with 9 seconds to go to get a safety. They didn't need a safety. Now, to me, that seems like a rig right there. But they were already winning the game. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, you just said exactly what I was going to say, so thank you.
Yeah, that part there, okay, I'm like, 9.5. All right, maybe you did rig that part.
Well, not just that. When Patrick Mahomes was also going for a slide, 2 Texans players collided helmet to helmet, and Mahomes' helmet did not touch them at all, and yet they called unnecessary roughness on it. That was an awful call, I will say, against the Texans. That should not have been called. Mahomes sold that like a champ. You may as well call Patrick Mahomes Dolph Ziggler, ladies and gentlemen. He sold that like a champ.
Here's the problem with the NFL. Which you guys are too young to remember the NFL like I do. The NFL, when I was younger, they would blast the quarterback and sit on the sidelines and smoke cigarettes. I'm not lying when I say this. This was the NFL then. They would smack him in the head. They would try to injure the quarterback. Now these teams are investing hundreds of millions of dollars into these quarterbacks that is the face of their franchise. They've had these rules to protect the quarterback at all times. At this point, if you want to really protect the quarterback, put a yellow shirt on him, and it's 2-hand touch, or if anybody goes near him, he's down. Because there's questionable calls that shouldn't be called, but they're trying to protect an investment. That's all it is to some of these franchises. When you're paying somebody like Kirk Cousins, $100 million guaranteed, you'd want to protect that investment. That's an investment. I mean, you guys are young. When you get older, you buy a house. That's a big investment. Austin, you bought a vehicle. That's a big investment. You're not going to treat your car, right? Let me ask you this. Are you going to wash your car? Are you going to change oil? Are you going to just throw the garbage in there? No. You're going to do all that stuff because you want to protect that investment. That's what these teams are doing. They're protecting an investment.
Absolutely. I mean, I would do it if I did have a car, but I currently don't have one.
Oh, yeah. I had to bring it
So,
up. Sorry,
so
Lucas.
thank you for reminding me that I don't have a car, but I appreciate that. Lucas, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the protecting it. It's just sometimes it seems a little iffy, but I don't know. I mean, that was a pretty bad Texans call on the 2 players hitting each other's head. I mean, that was a terrible call.
What are we talking about this game for?
I'm not even the one that brought it up.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I'm leading off
Let's
a point.
get on him. Why is he bringing
Why are you
this
bringing
up?
that up?
That was like a month ago.
You brought up people smoking on the bench, though.
I was about to
I
say,
had to tell
the
you
80s.
Listen, I
You
had to
brought
tell
up
you
the
guys
80s.
the way I had to set the tone for where I was ending at.
Back in my day.
I was telling a story back when I walked to school with no shoes on in the snow.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, let's actually go back.
Sorry, Lucas. Go ahead. You don't interrupt Lucas no more. Let him finish.
No, I was
his
on
point.
that point.
All right.
I was just.
All right. Well, let's actually go back in time for a second and talk about how both these teams
Here we
got
go.
here. Let's talk about the NFC Championship and the AFC Championship game. The Philadelphia Eagles, of course, defeated the Washington Commanders 55-23. That not only was an important game for both of those teams, that was the third matchup of the year for those two. Those two are division rivals. They both represent the NFC East. Washington had a game. Philadelphia had a game on each other this year. This was the tiebreaker. This was the grudge match. Who wins? Who's the better team? Who goes on to the Super Bowl? Philadelphia embarrassed Washington. So, Dad, I want to go to you on this one first. What was your thoughts and opinions on that game, and what was your thoughts on Jaden Daniels and his rookie campaign?
I gotta apologize. I said Washington was going to win this game. You two were pick Philly, I believe, correct?
That's correct.
So I'm going to apologize. I said some dumb stuff on here about how I thought they were going to do it. Reminded me of this quick story. Went to go see my sister-in-law's new antique shop up in Little Washington today. You guys know my cousin, Austin's cousin Tyler, right?
Mhm.
You both have met him. Well, he said something dumb, and it reminded me of how dumb I sounded last time on the podcast. We were talking about handwriting. I was telling him how bad Austin's handwriting is. And he says that his handwriting is very eligible. And I said, what? He said, eligible. I said, Tyler, what are you talking about? I said, you mean legible? He goes, yeah. I said, you know what eligible means? It's like you're eligible to play a sport. Anyways, that's how dumb I sounded on here saying that Washington was going to smack Philly. That game was a blowout from the beginning. Barkley, first run from scrimmage, 70-some yards, did a spin move, went down the sidelines untouched. That game was just, they did not look like they were ready. Dan Quinn going for all them fourth downs and then ended up settling for a field goal when he should have went for the 4th and 1. I don't know what was going on. Maybe that's why he got fired from 3 other jobs. I mean, I apologize for spewing the dumbness that I spewed last podcast on that game. That's all.
Yeah, I was actually kind of sad, even though I picked Philadelphia. I kind of was hoping Washington would win because I would love to see Jaden Daniels in the Super Bowl for his rookie season. But no, I mean Philadelphia, they whooped them. There's no easy way about it. Barkley ran all over them. Philadelphia was just a better team overall. They had the better coaching, better defense, better offense. Put up more points, and they stopped Washington from putting up points. It was simple as that.
Yeah, this was Philadelphia's game right here easily. The Philadelphia offense could not be stopped. But I want to sit up here and take a moment to address Jaden Daniels. What a rookie campaign. I would argue best rookie season from a quarterback in NFL history. Better than Andrew Luck, better than RG3, better than Peyton Manning. This rookie season was the best. No quarterback has ever made it this far in terms of his first year starting as a rookie, coming fresh off the NFL draft, fresh off a Heisman Trophy victory as well. Jaden Daniels completely shocked the world, made me eat my own words at the draft. I was talking about Jaden Daniels possibly being the 3rd or 4th quarterback taken off the board. He came out here and proved everybody wrong. Took a team that was awful for years under the ownership of Dan Snyder. First year after they sell the team, they go to the NFC Championship. They compete with their division rival. Now, for the people that want to sit up here, I can't believe that there are people actually blaming Jaden Daniels for this loss. There were three big fumbles in this game. None of them came from the quarterback. One of them came from Eckler, and 2 of them came from special teams. One of them was McNichols, and one of them, I want to say, was McCaffrey, actually. It was Luke McCaffrey, Chris McCaffrey's younger brother. There were 3 fumbles in this game. None of them were on Jaden Daniels. He did have a pick in this game, but it was at the end of the game. He was just trying to make a play. He just heaved it downfield. I mean, at that point, they were down by 20, so there was really not much else you could do. Jaden Daniels put together such a great game, and even in Philadelphia, at Lincoln Financial Field, one of the most rowdy stadiums in all of America, across all of the NFL, fans that are rowdy as hell, he was poised in the pocket. He made good decisions. He made great throws. There was a lot of confidence. What rookie quarterback can you say had that much confidence starting the playoffs? Josh Allen looked more nervous than Jaden Daniels' guys in the championship. Josh Allen, who's been there before. But we're going to go over to him now. Great campaign by Jaden Daniels. Philadelphia, I mean, the bottom line is they whooped him.
Real quick, to go back to what you said about Jaden Daniels. And I'm going to quote Greeny again because, and send that to Lucas. Please send that interview that I sent you to Lucas.
Will do.
Greeny said, when he brought up about the refs, I'm going to bring this up again. So this goes out to whoever's blaming Jaden Daniels. Is this your first time watching sports? Are you out of your mind? How are you blaming him for losing that game? Like you said, there was 2 special teams fumbles. Hey guys, guess what? He wasn't on the field. Can't blame him. Eckler, he handed him the ball. Can't blame him if he fumbled the ball. Once again, he didn't go for it on 4th down. Quit blaming him. Quit trying to change a narrative that is not there. That is my problem with media, is you try to push narratives that are not there. The kid had a great rookie campaign. God bless him. And you know what? I'm giving him a clap because he deserves it. And whoever made these dumb statements, maybe stop watching sports today. Don't watch the Super Bowl. Please, don't watch the Super Bowl.
Well, that's the NFC Championship. Let's now go over to the AFC Championship. The Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills, the matchup we've been waiting for all year. Keep in mind, this game was actually already played in the regular season. The Buffalo Bills actually defeated the Chiefs in that game. And the AFC Championship game, though, specifically, the Chiefs ended up winning 32-29. I'm actually going to start things off if you guys don't mind. Look, the Kansas City Chiefs in this game were just red hot. They've been here before. They had a game plan. They knew what they were doing. Josh Allen, I knew the Chiefs had this game in the bag the second the Bills had their opening drive. First play of the game, dropped interception. Second play of the game, dropped interception. Third play of the game, incomplete pass on 3rd down, punted away. The Buffalo Bills set the tone early on in this game by Josh Allen nearly throwing back-to-back picks. Josh Allen did not look like the Josh Allen that we saw all year. Now, yes, Josh Allen just won the MVP. We're going to cover that next week when we do our NFL awards recap. But look, Josh Allen deserves this MVP award. I'll argue that to the end of time. Josh Allen deserves it. He played great during the regular season. He outplayed every quarterback. But in the playoffs against the Kansas City Chiefs, he is now 0-4. And that brings me back to my officiating point that I made earlier. If you're going to sit up here and say the refs rigged that game against the Bills, okay, let's just say they did rig the game. Cool, they rigged the game for the Chiefs this year about the Bills. Did they rig it the last 3 times they played in the playoffs? You're going to sit up here and tell me with a straight face that the Buffalo Bills got rigged 4 times in a row in the postseason against the Kansas City Chiefs just so the Chiefs can go on and three-peat? I'm sorry, that's a ridiculous statement. I don't believe the Kansas City Chiefs got rigged at all. I just believe the Kansas City Chiefs are the better football. Patrick Mahomes is more experienced. Patrick Mahomes is made for the big moment. Josh Allen isn't there just yet. The Bills Super Bowl window is slowly starting to close, and we're watching it right in front of our eyes. Great job for putting the team on his back. I have nothing but nice things to say about Josh Allen. He is a great talent, great quarterback, great leader. I mean, the man just won MVP and married Haley Steinfeld. What more could you ask for? He is having a great 2025 thus far. But at the end of the day, Kansas City Chiefs, just like the Baltimore Ravens, just like the Pittsburgh Steelers, just like the LA Chargers, they own them.
Yeah, I actually I watched all of the Bills-Chiefs game, and after that first drive, I looked over at my dad and said, this is going to be a bad game for the Bills, because that was a very rough opening drive. And their Super Bowl window is closing, I will say that. This was the year, honestly, where they kind of had to make it, or else they're probably not making it this far next year, I'll be honest. But props to Josh Allen, because besides the MVP win, obviously, he took a team that everyone thought was going to be awful. They just got rid of their wide receiver. The rest of the team wasn't really there. He doesn't have any other weapons to throw to. And they made it this far into the playoffs. Absolutely. So I'll give my props to him. He definitely deserves it. He definitely put in his all. That last game, he played pretty good. There was a couple errors, especially, like you said, literally like the first 2 passes of the game were almost back-to-back interceptions.
Don't forget about Haley Steinfeld either. That's another big one.
Yes, and Haley Steinfeld. Congratulations, Josh Allen. Are you happy now?
Clap it up, guys. Let's go. Round of applause for Josh Allen. He's winning on and off the field.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not against the Chiefs, but go ahead.
The Chiefs just outplayed them, and there's no questions about it.
You guys want to congratulate him on who he's dating, married. Is he married now? Whatever.
Of course, yeah.
Well, you know what? As a parent, if you just go back and watch the honor speech that he gave, he didn't mention this girl at all. Let's be honest. Let's say who he mentioned. I want to thank Mom and Dad.
Well, he didn't thank his receivers because he didn't have any.
He thanked Mom and Dad for Pop Warner to the present, and I believe he said they only missed 10 games. As a parent, I'm giving a round of applause for mentioning Mom and Dad.
Yeah, let's give it to the parents.
Because they're the ones that got him there. Listen, Josh Allen, great season. I'm saying what you two are afraid to say. The window is closed. This was the year they had to get it done. This was his best campaign. He carried them the whole season. Buffalo is not making it to the AFC Championship next year.
That is where I actually fully disagree.
I believe it's going to be Cincinnati will pass them up because they're going to do what it takes to get a couple defensive players. And I believe that Buffalo's window is officially closed. I think this was their best chance because Josh Allen was playing unreal this year. Played good in the Kansas City game. Started off rocky. But like I was telling Jack earlier, it was playing against Big Brother. He got smacked around by his big brother again. He just can't beat Mahomes in the playoffs. He just can't beat him in the playoffs. I don't know what it is. They got out of their game plan. They stopped running him as much. If you've seen that game, they did not run him as much as they should have. That first game that they played in the season, he had 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns, and he probably had almost 100 yards rushing as a quarterback in that game. They kind of went away from that game plan. If they would have mirrored that game plan, they may have had a better result. But I'm not going to hold up on it. I believe their window is closed. Not on Josh Allen's part, though. I don't believe it's on Josh Allen. I believe it's on McDermott, the coach. I think he got out-coached in this game. I think he's always got out-coached by Andy Reid. And I believe, I hate to say it, why is he not on the hot seat if you can't win the big game?
Well, look, you're wrong, and here's why you're wrong. The Buffalo Bills, their window is not officially closed. It is slowly starting to close, but it's not officially closed yet. And the reason that you're forgetting is
close that window.
What division does the Buffalo Bills play in again?
One of the worst divisions of football.
Exactly. They play in one of the worst divisions of football. They play in the AFC East. Excuse me, I didn't interrupt you. The AFC East is filled with 4 teams. The New England Patriots, the New York Jets, the Buffalo Bills, and the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins are on the verge of
Dismantlement.
Thank you. Tua Tagovailoa is on the hot seat this year. Mike McDaniel is on the hot seat this year. This team needs to find a way to win. Tyreek Hill is probably on his way out the door. Then you look at the Jets. They're a complete train wreck. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is probably out the door. They're on their second defensive coordinator in a row as a head coach with Aaron Glenn moving on from Robert Saleh. And then there is the New England Patriots, who literally have a second-year quarterback, second head coach in 3 years. I mean, this is god-awful if you're the New England Patriots. And then you have the Buffalo Bills, who is honestly the most complete team out of all four of them. And again, the Buffalo Bills lost 3 of their starting secondary players this year. They lost their 2 starting defensive tackles, and there's 2 starting wide receivers in Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. Yet they still made it as far as they did. And you said the Cincinnati Bengals. Let me remind you, they play in the AFC North, Dad, not the AFC East. So yes, and plus the Cincinnati Bengals, did they even make the playoffs this past year? No, they didn't, because they had the worst defense in football last year. So first of all, Cincinnati got to improve that defense before we can even consider them to be a playoff threat for the Buffalo Bills. And Josh Allen, on the other hand, I give you all the credit in the world. Your analysis on him was perfect. He did put this team on his back. He played Superman this year for the city of Buffalo. And I'm going to agree with you on one thing that you said. Sean McDermott is on the hot seat. I've been calling for it since week 14. He's on the hot seat. Dan Campbell's on the hot seat. Mike Tomlin, he's been on the hot seat. There's a lot of coaches that we need to do a lot of questioning with going into this next season. Sean McDermott is most certainly one of them. But to sit up here and say the Buffalo Bills window is officially closed when you look at the rest of the AFC East, that's a horrible statement. I'm sorry.
Jack, can you do me a favor? Check them headphones, see if he can hear you and me right now. Because what I said, you obviously didn't listen to. I never said the AFC East, they were not going to win the East. Did I say that, Lucas? No, I just said Cincinnati's catching them. So in the scheme of things, when you're talking to playoff picture, I understand they're in a different division. But guess what? You got Baltimore, you got Kansas City. You throw Cincinnati in that mix. You throw maybe a Pittsburgh in that mix.
No.
Let's stop for a second. All I'm saying is Buffalo, yeah, they're going to win the East because I believe I called it out beginning of mid-season, Lucas. You can back me up on this. I said it's going to be a fire. Waddle's going to want out. Hill's going to want out. And then it started playing out through the season. So I already called that out. I'm never going to say they're not going to win the East. They win 9 games, they probably win the East. I'm not a moron. I already know that. What I'm saying is the reason why their window's closing, Baltimore got better. Kansas City's just getting better. Cincinnati, I'm glad you said something about Cincinnati because if you'd have listened to me, I said they're 1 or 2 defensive players away from making a run in the Super Bowl, which they're going to do, go get a defensive player. And Joe Burrow, are you kidding me? Did you not watch what he did at the end of this season? They should have been in the playoffs because they would have put up better numbers than the Steelers did. They would have put on a better game than the Steelers did. For all you Yinzers out there that thought the Steelers were going to win a Super Bowl, ha ha, on you. They were never going to win a Super Bowl. Not Russ Wilson as their quarterback. And I like Russ Wilson. But all I'm saying to you is, yes, their window is closing in the AFC, okay? Maybe I didn't say what you wanted to hear. In the AFC, their window is closed.
It's not closed.
They're not winning the Super Bowl. They're not making it to the Super Bowl.
The reason why their window is not officially closed is because you gave me 3 football teams. When you look at the NFC, you can make an argument for maybe about
how many teams make it?
6 to 7 different teams that could be in could be in consideration for making the Super Bowl. When you look at the AFC, the Kansas City Chiefs are on their own echelon. We know that the Kansas City Chiefs are on their own tier. When you're breaking down every team that's
we
in
know
the
where
NFL.
they're going to be there. Right.
Can you let me finish?
Yeah,
I did not interrupt you. I did not interrupt you. I don't know if it's the Kansas City fan and you coming out. If it's
I got Steely right here. I'm ready to choke him out. Steely McDaniels or whatever.
And for you to say the Pittsburgh Steelers in the same conversation as the Cincinnati Bengals and Baltimore Ravens, I'm disgusted as you as a Chiefs fan.
Did they make the playoffs?
They did make that. They should not have made the playoffs. You know that.
Okay, but Cincinnati did not make the playoffs. Cincinnati did not make the playoffs.
Look, here's the deal.
I'm giving you playoff teams.
Look, here's the deal. Time out. When you look at the AFC, you got the Cincinnati Bengals, you got the Baltimore Ravens, you got the Kansas City Chiefs. That's where it ends. So to sit up here and say the Buffalo Bills can't get back to where they were at least this year, that's an awful statement. The Texans are overrated. Sorry, Lucas. The Tennessee Titans are overrated. The Pittsburgh Steelers are overrated. Also, sorry, Lucas. The AFC is filled with teams that can't make the big game. Buffalo can at least get to the AFC Championship. And if they can get there, their window's still open. Is it closing? Yes, it is closing. Is it completely closed? No. You can't say it's closed when they have a guaranteed playoff spot because of the awful division they're in and the lack of competition once it comes January. I'm sorry.
Time out, Lucas. Can I ask you an honest question?
Sure.
How many teams make the Super Bowl from the AFC?
1.
Thank you very much. I have another question for you.
Yeah.
You're Houston Texans, correct? Who's in their division? Because
No.
he's making our point better.
There's no one good in their division. That's why
Who's in there, though?
That's why they made it.
So when he talks about a guaranteed playoff spot in the AFC East, he just threw your team under the bus and said they're god-awful, they're not going to do nothing. Do they have a guaranteed playoff spot according to Austin's analogy? Yes, they do.
When was the last time the Houston Texans made the AFC Championship?
When was the last
My point exactly. Look, when
Listen,
you look at the no,
Buffalo's made, what, 6 or 8 of them?
Correct.
I
Listen,
guess-
apparently you don't understand what the analogy Super Bowl window means. Super Bowl window doesn't mean just getting to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl. Super Bowl window
Wait,
means
this is the Vikings.
school.
Vikings.
Look, you want to talk about a team? That's a team Super Bowl window that's closed. The Minnesota Vikings Super Bowl window is closed. Look, the Super Bowl window is an analogy of a team that has a chance to get to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, or at least make it to. The Buffalo Bills have not made the Super Bowl. Honestly, I can't even tell you when the last time they were in the Super
The
Bowl.
90s.
The 90s, thank you. The 90s was the last time they were there.
104, right in a row.
Right in a row. 4 games
Jim
in a row.
Kelly from Pittsburgh, unfortunately. I remember it.
I'm glad I was not alive for that. I probably would have
Scott
been very
Norwood.
depressed.
Can't believe that he was allowed in Buffalo after that. Missed like 2 game-winning field goals. Go ahead.
The point is, when you have the greatest quarterback in the NFL on your roster in Josh Allen, and when you have a team as stacked as the Buffalo Bills, I mean, you just can't sit up here and say the window's officially closed. It's the NFL. Anything can happen. They're 0-4 against the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the only reason why I'm not saying the Buffalo Bills are not in the Super Bowl this year. If it wasn't for the Kansas City Chiefs, the Bills would be AFC champions right now. They would be in the Super Bowl. They would be playing the Philadelphia Eagles. The Chiefs are just a completely different monster. You put the Chiefs in the NFC, the Bills are 7 straight conference champions in the AFC. That's the bottom line. So I agree with you on your statement that McDermott's on the hot seat and the Bills have a lot of work to do. But I'm not going to say their window's officially closed. I am going to say it's inching closer and closer. Because guess what? I actually was the one that originally made the statement before you stole it from me. I said beginning of the season the Bills' window was over. Lucas, you can attest to this when we did our division rankings. The Buffalo Bills, I said their season is over. The Dolphins were going to make the playoffs. Their roster was too stacked. This was their final chance. I ate my own words there. The Buffalo Bills shocked me. The Dolphins didn't. I expected them to play the way they did. But the Bills shocked me. The fact that Josh Allen was able to make do with the talent that he has, it actually reminds me of Mahomes from a couple years ago. You got to remember, Patrick Mahomes, when he lost Tyreek Hill, he had no wide receivers. He was working with what? Juju Smith-Schuster, Justin Watson, who's a great player, don't get me wrong. Sky Moore.
Next time that you hear Justin Watson, I want you to say South Air represent. Say it.
Nah.
You're not going to get it out of him. The Buffalo Bills have a lot of work to do going into the offseason. I can't say their window's officially closed, though. Let's end this conversation now, moving into our next topic for the Super Bowl special. Before we actually get into the... Let's kind of go off the game for a little bit and talk about the actual Super Bowl itself. History's going to be made. They're played in New Orleans. New Orleans is a historic season, not just for the NFL, but for sports all across the world. I mean, you talk about a stadium that has had WrestleManias, that's had Super Bowls, that's hosted concerts, major events. The halftime show this year, I was kind of a little disappointed to see. It's Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar will be playing the halftime show this year. I want to get your guys' thoughts on it, because last year I made such a big deal about Usher. What do you guys think of the halftime show this year? Are you guys excited for Kendrick Lamar? Do you guys think it should have been someone else? Any cameo appearances you want to see? What's your opinion on the halftime show?
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm not like excited necessarily. I mean, I like 2 songs by him pretty much. So
A minor.
that is not one of them.
Yes, Jack, I know music. I seen that look. Like, why does he know that?
No, but I mean, I kind of hope that they bring out some unexpected guests because I think we're gonna need it for a really good halftime show. But I mean, I know it's gonna be a really hyped halftime show because I mean, he is one of the most popular artists right now. I can't speak for the other artists because I don't listen to either of them. But I'm kind of excited for Kendrick Lamar. I feel like it can be either really good and hype or just really bad.
Are you excited for Kendrick Lamar, Jack?
Never listened to him, so I don't know.
Totally fair. Dad.
Listen, the only way that I'm going to watch the halftime show, who's he beef with? Drake? Is that who it is? If they have both of them on the stage and they got like a boxing ring and they're going at each other, maybe I'll tune in. Other than that, I'm getting up, going to the bathroom, getting my plate of food. I could care less about watching Kendrick Lamar, and I actually like his music. It's nothing against him. That's the time to actually veg out from all the... Trust me, I don't know if you know this, Jack, but Lucas, you watch me during a game. I get a little animated. You think I'm animated now? You ain't seen nothing, right, Lucas? I'm going to be,
I've heard the
blood
stories.
pressure's
I've
going to
heard
be
the horror
high.
Stories.
I'm going to be yelling. I'm going to need some decompression time, as I call it. So that's going to be my halftime show, is me just letting some of the blood drain back down into my body from my head. Because my head's going to be red, and probably I'm going to be screaming at TV, yelling at Austin. I don't know, maybe yelling at Cooper for running around. I don't know.
How do you go from Shakira to Beyonce, Bruno Mars, Usher, to Kendrick Lamar? What a downgrade.
Because he's the most popular artist right now.
Time out. How do you go from Dr. Dre, Snoop, with a
Yeah, exactly.
with the thing with Tupac in the background singing California, to this guy? Like I said, put up a boxing ring. Let him battle it out in the ring.
I agree.
It's because it's a money.
I think
it's
I would
it's a money-
definitely be.
It's
We
a
should
money
have-
catcher.
Look, I can't stand the song "Not Like Us." I know my sister Belle's gonna hate me when I say that because she loves that song.
Is that
but
the one where he says A minor?
that's the one where he says A minor.
Okay.
Yes.
You know what they should do? They should have.
They
a
have to
ring.
play that song though. They have to.
They
Or
should
it's a
get a
wasted
ring
show.
set up.
Huh?
They should get a ring set up and have two popular artists do like a rap battle against each other.
I'm in. I'm gonna watch
Special guest referee Sin Cara.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Oh yeah.
I agree with that. I would love to see the boxing event, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be in the bathroom. You can use the upstairs one, Dad. I'll be in the downstairs one. This is not worth it at all. I'm not excited for this halftime show at all. I'm a big Usher fan. So when I saw Usher,
last year sucked.
Usher sucked.
Yeah, it kind
He didn't even play your songs. How are you gonna say he didn't suck?
Yes, he did. He played
You
nice
could-
and slow. He
you
played
You
for
called me.
10
You
seconds.
called me that same night and complained about him not playing. So they didn't tell me he played your
Wait,
songs.
he played it for like 3
He
seconds
did
or
3
something.
seconds.
Oh, sorry, you're
He
3
played-
seconds.
Yes, he played my favorite Usher song.
But
for
listen,
3
you
seconds.
can't listen. I gotta agree with Austin on one thing. Usher's up here, Kendrick Lamar's down here. Nothing against.
I'm not saying
Kendrick
he's a bad
Lamar.
artist. I'm just saying it wasn't a good halftime show.
It was a very
Yeah.
good halftime show. Alicia Keys was there. Usher. I mean,
was
like,
not
come
a fan
on.
of the halftime show last year.
Turn
But I also
down
haven't
for
been a
what?
fan of
Ask me if I watched it, because I didn't. I didn't. I'm not gonna lie.
I did. I was in the living room.
I tuned in when Dre was on a couple years ago because I'm like, if they have like Tupac on the screen, I'm
I
gonna
think
go.
we can all
I'm
agree
gonna
on
go
one-
nuts, and they didn't. I was so disappointed in that. They missed the ball on that one.
That's why I wouldn't even say they were the best halftime show.
They
I've
should
seen.
have done a hologram with Pac in the background singing California.
Well, I mean,
That
let's
would've
be
been
honest.
great.
I think we can all agree the best halftime show of all time, hands down, easily was Michael Jackson. I mean, Michael Jackson's halftime show was the best. It was,
I'd lie to you if I said I watched it.
well,
So would I.
I would say
I mean, I might Google it and watch it later.
it's honestly one of the best. He used his songs as a very strong platform to address a lot of different social issues at the time, and he put on such an event. Honestly, the halftime show was better than the first half of that game. So we'll just leave it at that.
Do you know the most watched halftime show?
I think, was it Shakira's or no?
No, I believe it was Janet Jackson. Like her boob fell out or something
Okay.
on stage. It was the most watched halftime
I'm
show.
actually pretty sure I have heard that before.
Yes, I
course
think
you
it was the
have.
most watched halftime
I got a South
show.
Bay. We're weird kids.
Whoa, 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 whoa! No, we're not.
It's changed since
No,
it
no,
has
that's big
changed
throw.
since
Yaha.
me and Jack are the stars of that school. It's weird.
That is
Oh, yeah.
weird.
We're different, not stars.
Yeah, you two can't say South Bay represent. I can.
I mean, I can say it. I go there.
I can. I just don't feel like it.
You know what? Let's get an elephant out in the room. Okay? Can we get something out? I
don't
mean,
think
I don't know if we're
elephant
there
is,
yet, but let's
be
just get it out. Jack, I don't know if you watched the last episode, if you listened to it. I mean, it was on YouTube. It's on Spotify. Please tune in to Jagoffs. But we had Kevin, my man Kevin, on. You know Kevin real well. He went
Oh,
to
yeah.
wrestling events with him. Good guy.
He's a great guy.
Oh yeah.
They did Ask Austin Anything.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So
Was
did you hear that
It
episode?
was not an Ask
Doesn't
Austin. I think it was a Who Knows Austin.
Who
Carnes
knows
better.
Austin Carnes the best? So you didn't listen to it.
I didn't listen to that one.
Well,
No.
I'm going to spoil it for you. I apologize. It was a bet. And I'm supposed to give the punishment. And today, after this episode, it's going to be the promo.
It's going to be on Tuesday.
It's gonna be on Tuesday of my punishment with yours truly, Lucas. He lost.
Oh, I can't wait.
So I brought some stuff, and I'm looking forward to this. Like, I'm really looking forward to this punishment.
I'm looking forward to this. This is gonna be fun.
And it's going to be on social media. It'll be on Facebook,
It's okay.
Instagram. What else you want to put it on?
YouTube, TikTok.
TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
What
That
else you
sounds
want to
fun.
put it on? Well, I don't know if TikTok's going to be around. So I'm going to shut that down next week. We don't know if that's going to be around.
Well, I'll tell you
But
what.
I'm looking forward to that.
You want to know the best part about it is? He's the one that's uploaded it all.
I mean, I can just not upload it.
Oh, you have.
Oh, you're uploading it.
I just
But
said I
listen.
forgot.
Listen, you're lucky that I have a lot of respect for your mom because I had my wife text your mom to see what I could do.
Yeah, I'm aware. She told me.
Okay. So I was going to make you do some stuff. We'll just
I'm
put
aware.
it to you that way.
I'm aware.
Hot stuff.
One chip challenge.
Thank you. That
I
was-
would not have done it. I would have died. I would have actually
It's okay. I would have died too, Lucas.
The entire floor of whatever house we did at here.
We're doing
here
that
at the
outside.
studio
I'd have made you
has-
puke on the street. I don't
I would
care.
have puked on your car.
I've heard that the one chip challenge is actually like dangerous. Like
Yeah.
there's
I
been
would've gave him,
genuine-
like,
Well,
the junior
it's
chip
dangerous because
challenge.
people are idiots. They did it while driving. They crashed.
I've seen people go to the hospital from it, like just eating the chip.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's
Well, don't do it if you don't like spicy stuff. That's
fortunately
why I
for
would have not done it because I would have been in the hospital crying.
Fortunately for you, that's not the challenge. I mean, that's not the punishment.
Don't tell him the challenge. Save the challenge. Don't spoil it.
Oh, the punishment? I can't wait to see your face.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday's promo is gonna be nice. For once, I don't gotta do push-ups, so I'm happy. I'm not complaining. For once, though,
For
the
once,
spotlight.
you only did it once.
See, listen, I'll be honest. I'm kind of a Jagoff in this sense. I like the spotlight on me. I like the cameras on me. I like the bright lights. You know what I mean?
Who
Like
didn't
that-
know that, huh, Lucas?
I'm kind of that guy. I'll admit, I'm that guy.
We
Hey,
can
who,
all
For
didn't,
once-
who didn't know that was a promotion of you and
Hold on.
Sue John F. Kennedy down
For
there?
what? Shut up. For once, I'm actually happy it's on you. I'm happy to pass the spotlight over to you. So
Uh-huh.
it's gonna be a very exciting Tuesday promo.
If it's the theme of me being on all the shows this week.
No, it's actually not.
By the way, I'm sorry if I yell at you in advance.
Oh, God.
Apparently, I yell a lot. Is that what you said?
I mean, if you watch the episode of him doing push-ups, Army Sergeant over there, I wouldn't say that you yell a lot.
If you listen to the first 50 minutes of this episode, you can tell he yells
You
a
know,
lot.
the video actually did not do it justice. He yelled way louder than that video came out to be.
Yeah, I think your phone might need upgraded.
It's the best phone I can buy.
Okay, I'm just saying. Because I did yell. I don't know if it was as bad when I yelled at you and Kevin on his on his project for...
Oh, that project was way louder.
I think
Well,
I
because the
was.
room was also echoey and stuff, so.
Oh, yeah. Did you ever see that, Jack?
I think I did.
Yes.
Yeah,
did.
you watched it. In
We
this-
watched it. It's a great episode.
It was a great.
What did I call them, guys? Fucking morons.
I say that on here.
They got to tune into the show, though. I mean, it was a good video clip.
Well, there goes my ads. You said like 5 different cuss words today. I'm not
I
putting
said
ads on
3.
We
this
don't have
episode.
ads on here.
I said there goes my chances of getting ads
Oh.
on this episode. Now they're on YouTube.
Well, apparently, listen.
YouTube doesn't love anyone.
Listen. McAfee says the F word.
Okay,
every
that's Pat
other
McAfee.
sentence.
I'm not Pat McAfee. That's the difference.
Not
No,
yet.
no,
That's Pat
no, with that
McAfee.
mindset.
Yeah, I mean, come on,
Come
think
on.
positive. Glass half full, not half empty.
Whatever.
He's
You
over
want
wearing
that?
2 Jagoffs, wearing his Penguin sweatshirt, and he's thinking negative. They just won.
Yeah,
Didn't
come on,
they just
man,
have
they
a big
won.
victory?
Yeah.
Yes, they beat the Rangers. Congratulations. You want to clap it up for the Rangers and the Penguins? Let's go.
Yes.
Great game. The Pens came back. It was 1-0 going into the second period. And the Pittsburgh Penguins.
I'm a Yinzer, yes.
Yes.
I love the Penguins, yes.
They won. They won.
Is there any other hockey teams besides the Penguins, Lucas? I don't believe there is.
Well, guess what? The Pens right now are 6 in the Metro, so there's 6 teams better than them right now. But we'll get to the Penguins a different time.
I've seen 5 cups in my life.
Well, I've seen 3, but thank you very much.
Hopefully, like my Chiefs.
Let's
5
go back to the
championships.
actual Super Bowl itself now, because after all, this is the Super Bowl special. The Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, we talked about, is this the ideal matchup? Should the refs get in the way of this game? We recapped both the NFC and AFC championship, but now it's time for the moment that all the listeners have been waiting for. Not Kendrick Lamar, not Taylor Swift, not Haley Steinfeld, not any of the other celebrities we talked about. It's time to give our official predictions. Score predictions, who is winning, who is taking home the Lombardi Trophy. Mr. Jack Dean, I want you to set the tone for us today. You are joining us for the first time on the Super Bowl special. I have my fancy little pen right here that Lucas got me. Shout out to Lucas. And I'm going to write down all 4 of our scores on who is winning and what is the official score going to be. Floor is yours, Mr. Jack Dean. Who do you have winning and why?
Philly's winning. It's gonna be, if I were to guess, probably be like 48-16.
What? Wait. Can you
Yeah.
repeat that, Mr. Jack Dean?
Yeah, it's 48-16.
48-16.
Yeah.
This will probably be your first and last Super Bowl special. Lucas, the floor is yours, my friend.
I'm gonna agree with the TV show, so I'm gonna choose the Eagles.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 38-30.
Before you go over to that, you said 38-30. How the hell are you both going to pick the Philadelphia Eagles and not hit me with a fly, Eagles, fly? That is disrespectful to the
I
city.
don't like either of these teams.
You got to hit the fly. Listen, when you pick a team, you got to do their slogan. And the Eagles slogan is one of
Just
the
like
best.
whenever you chose Penn State and you went with their slogan. I don't know what's the
Hey,
slogan.
that is the
slogan.
last time I've
We
ever
are Penn State.
Ohio State, you probably want their slogan
It's
too.
the Ohio State. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
the
But
big
go
guy
ahead.
over here says the.
All right, so you got Philly. Why do you have Philly winning?
Because they're better.
I just think they're better overall.
All right, Dad, the floor is yours.
Hey, I give the Chiefs a lot of credit letting them hit 30 points this season.
Can we make a bet, me and you?
No.
Here, it was a pretty good bet.
No one needs to be taking your money.
Listen. Here's the bet. If the Chiefs win, because I'm going to obviously pick my Chiefs. If the Chiefs win, you have to buy me a South Fayette Lions football T-shirt. How about that? And if the Eagles win, I will buy a Houston Texans T-shirt. How about that? Something you like.
CJ Stroud jersey.
Not a jersey. Come on. What are you? He's going to buy me a $15 shirt, and you want me to buy a $100 jersey? What kind of bet is this?
Buy the shirts?
I don't know.
No, you can probably get it for free.
They're kind of expensive, like the shirts.
Are they really?
Where do we sell football shirts at?
I mean, I don't know if we
Listen,
sell
you go to
football
school
shirts,
there, you
but
can
we
figure it
sell-
out.
I don't think we sell football shirts.
Yes, they do. They got their own website.
I will ask. I'll ask a football player.
Don't get beat up by him in the process. Anyways, here's my pick. First off, Jack, I recall the San Francisco Super Bowl when you gave your prediction, which was god awful then, and it's god awful then.
It was almost the same.
No, you said Brock Purdy was going to throw for like 3 touchdowns. I remember some craziness.
It was like 48. I have 48.
Yeah, and they didn't even have 30. So.
It was close.
Jack, I'm going to listen to your analogy. Lucas, your analogy's out the window, too, because you said, I don't like either team.
It is out the window because I had the Chiefs scoring 30 points. I know the Chiefs trying to score 30.
It's not that unrealistic. I mean, they lost to the Broncos 38-0, so.
With their third strings.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Anyways, how about those Chiefs? I'm going to go 27-20. Kansas City 3-peat. And if they win their 5th Super Bowl, I believe I'm going to fly to Kansas City to watch that banner get raised. I said it last year. I should have went this year. I didn't go. If they do it, it's monumental. I think I'm going to have to go. I just think in this game, I think Mahomes is going to come through and win a close game. I'm only getting them winning by 7. So with that being said, I'm taking my Chiefs.
Well, at least if they win, I don't have to see you for a week.
Why?
You'll be in Kansas City.
No, that's next year when they raise the banner, knucklehead.
It's a whole year.
It's the first game of their home game. They raise a banner, the new new championship banner.
Well, then I won't have to see you for the first week.
Oh, good Lord. I don't know who I want to smack around, McSteely or you. Is that his name? What's his name? What's their mascot's name?
Steely McBean.
Steely.
Your son has a photo with him.
You do
No,
too.
not a proud father moment, by the way.
You're in the photo.
Am I really?
Yes, you
No,
are.
our draft day.
Huh?
At the draft day.
Yeah, but he's also in the photo. I have 2 photos of Steely.
This photo is not existent. I called fake news.
You're in Kansas City gear in it, so you can.
I can't believe it.
You also acknowledge Roman Reigns in that photo too, by the way. But yeah.
Produce the photo, is all I'm saying.
Look, the Philadelphia Eagles have been to 3 Super Bowls in franchise history. They have only won 1. One of those being against the New England Patriots with Nick Foles. The Kansas City Chiefs have been in the Super Bowl for the last 2 years. They won both of them. They are on the verge of a three-peat, which has never been done. The only team in NFL history to ever win 3 championships in a row was the Green Bay Packers in 65, 66, and 67. That was before the Super Bowl merger was a thing. That was an NFL championship for their first, Super Bowls for the first 2. So if the Kansas City Chiefs win tonight, they will be the first team in NFL history to three-peat a Super Bowl in the Super Bowl era. That's a streak that I never thought would happen, and that's a streak that I don't think would ever happen because of how different the NFL is nowadays. I mean, you have to take into the consideration of drafting, player contracts, player personnel. You have to take into consideration free agency, trade, the trade deadline. There's a lot of different factors now that makes it harder to build a team and start a team from scratch and take them all the way to the promised land, that being the Super Bowl, that being the Lombardi Trophy. The Kansas City Chiefs have done that now 4 times in franchise history. They're 1 win away from tying the San Francisco 49ers and having 5 Super Bowl trophies in Arrowhead Stadium at Gaya Field. That's a pretty big deal if you were the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going up against a Philadelphia Eagles team that I wouldn't say is inexperienced. For once, the Kansas City Chiefs can't say they're going up against an inexperienced team.
Nope.
They're going up against the most experienced team, actually, in the NFC right now. They're going up against a team that has the most experience beating them. Keep in mind, the game last time around, Philadelphia was actually 1 score away from winning. 1 score from being the Kansas City Chiefs. Some argue that they actually should have won that game. So this is the best matchup. This is the most ideal matchup. That is the theme of this episode, guys. This is the most ideal Super Bowl that we could have. Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles. Is someone going to get vengeance or is someone going to make history? Either way, it is going to be a thriller. When we look at the overall rosters of both of these teams, Patrick Mahomes is that guy. He is on the verge of outplaying Tom Brady in terms of his career standpoint. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and say Patrick Mahomes will be the all-time GOAT if he wins the Super Bowl. I still believe that's Tom Brady, and the reason for that is longevity. See, Tom Brady was still playing this good 22 seasons into his career. Patrick Mahomes is only 7. So I'm not going to sit up here and say Patrick Mahomes can be the GOAT. Yes, I know the short time span of him having all this success is there, but until he reaches those 7 Super Bowl victories, let's see how he's playing 20 years down the line. Then we can have that GOAT conversation. But until then, we cannot ignore the greatness that Patrick Mahomes brings to the Kansas City Chiefs and brings to the NFL. Both of these teams have Hall of Fame talent level players on their team. Both of these teams have 2 of the greatest coaches in the sport of football. But the game is going to come down to this. Which team can stop the run? Something we forgot to mention earlier is Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. This has been a pretty solid running back duo. Ever since Pacheco came back from injury and Hunt came back from the island of relevancy, the ocean of obscurity, as some would call it, Kareem Hunt has had a resurface for his career. This is one of the best running back duos in all of football right now. Saquon Barkley is a one-man show. Who can stop the run? What defense can go out there and make the stops that's necessary? It's not about Patrick Mahomes and if he can score, if Jalen Hurts can score. We know they both can score. We know what they can do with their legs. We know how they can extend plays and extend drives and take risks on 3rd down, on 4th down, and in the red zone. The tush push, the brotherly shove, the Mahomes magic, the trick plays. We know what both of those offenses bring to the table. But the question is, which defense is going to make the stop? What defense is going to win the battle down in the trenches? That is going to win what's going to win this game. I believe the Chiefs are going to be the team to win this game. Officiating may get in the way of this on both sides. We've seen questionable calls on both Philadelphia side and Kansas City side. But at the end of the day, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win this game 28-25. It's going to be a close scoring game. Jalen Hurts is going to be electric. Saquon Barkley is going to be a superstar. But at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes is going to put that cape with a big letter S on the back, and he's going to turn into Superman for once and for all, and he is going to win his 3rd straight championship and make history in New Orleans. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs.
You know what I want to call out? I hope he's right. Do you know why? Not because they're going to win. If it's 28-25, I might win $500 on a block pool. That would make me feel really good. Not to mention that they won a Super Bowl and I'd be going to Kansas City next year. Listen, you're a Penguin fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see the generational gap here real quick. Do you like the Philadelphia Flyers or do you hate them?
I hate them.
Okay, so as a Penguins fan and as a Pittsburgher, as a Yinzer, how can anybody in Pittsburgh root for the Philadelphia Eagles? That is sacrilegious in my opinion.
Because the Chiefs are closer to taking the Steelers.
Listen, no, that's why. It's a Yinzer thing. Thank you for bringing it up. I'm glad you brought it up. I'm tired of hearing it. Hey, we want to be in Philly. Guess what? In Philly, you know what they're saying right now? No, Pittsburghers. You hate us. We hate you. We don't want you on our bandwagon. That's what they're saying in Philadelphia. It's a city of brotherly love, but they hate Pittsburghers. That's what they do. They hate Pittsburghers. Don't jump on their bandwagon. Listen, the reason nobody in Pittsburgh wants to see the Chiefs win the Super Bowl is because they're getting closer to that 6. That's the truth. Glad you said it, Lucas.
I haven't heard of any Philadelphians that said they hate Pittsburghers.
You've not.
Never.
You want to go to Philly with me?
I've
I'll drop you right off in the middle of it. Market Street.
Yeah, I have more beef going to Baltimore getting flipped off when I was 7 years old.
Well, that's a divisional opponent.
Listen,
just
they
visiting.
hate Pittsburghers. Me and my buddies used to go watch Flyer games to get into fights with them as Penguin fans. That's what we did for fun. I'm telling you, ask Mark Houck. You know Mark Houck. We would go to Philadelphia to fist fight. Why? Because they hate us, we hate them.
Lucas, something you're forgetting too. I mean, the Eagles and Steelers had a matchup earlier this year, and that was one of the most toxic games of the year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not just for the fans, but for the teams themselves. The Battle of the Keystone State is real.
It's real. All I'm trying to say is root for the Eagles for the right reason. Not because you're precious Steelers could possibly get passed up. They did it with San Francisco. We hate San Francisco. We don't want them to. We wanted the Chiefs to beat San Fran because we didn't want San Fran to break our record. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
That was in the Pittsburgh media. All I'm saying is the Chiefs, I've been a fan since 1984, and you guys are young men. All 3 of you guys are young. It's nothing like to cheer for a team for all these years and get beat on by your buddies at work, by guys that you're friends with. Why do you like this team? Why do you like this team? That's my team. They sucked. They sucked. This is the Chiefs' time. And they're the most hated organization in all of sports right now. Am I right or wrong? They're the most hated. Why? Because they're winning. That's why they're winning. Has nothing to do with the refs. Has nothing to do with Taylor Swift. None of this other stuff. I'm just going to enjoy all this because I'm telling you guys as young guys, you don't know if your team's ever going to get to this platform. Enjoy the ride. I'm enjoying the hell out of this ride.
One last thing I would like to add on. The Kansas City Chiefs, as Ric Flair once famously proclaimed, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And that man is Patrick Mahomes. That man is Andy Reid. That man is Chris Jones. That man is Nick Bolton. That man is Justin Reed. That man is the Kansas City Chiefs.
For the listeners, Lucas, what am I holding up?
Championship belt.
What kind of championship belt?
WWE.
We all watch wrestling, all four of us. The champ is here, and the champ, hopefully, is going to go out the champ.
You want to know what the Kansas City Chiefs and John Cena have in common, Dad? They're both the greatest of all
You
time.
can't see me. No. Lucas, you didn't even laugh at that. Why not?
No, he doesn't get the joke because I'm saying John Cena's the greatest wrestler of all time.
Yes, I know.
You agree? He agrees. Lucas, what
happened? You bite your tongue? You bleeding? Something? What's going on, bud? You all right?
What?
I mean, the floor is yours. I mean, you have nothing to add on?
Nothing?
I've already spoke who I think's going to win. I'm sticking with it. I'm not changing.
Okay.
Even after I went into that analogy about how Philly people hate you guys?
I don't like either team. I'm just going with Philadelphia.
Listen, I'm going to take you and Jack on a field trip. We're going to go down to Philly. We're going to get a pretzel.
I never said they don't like me.
Maybe
I never
we'll
said
even
I
go
like
get
them.
a
I just don't want the Chiefs to win.
cheesesteak. You guys like?
Can we get ice cream?
No. That's crazy.
I would love to go there and get a
I want to
cheesesteak.
get ice cream.
I would love to go there and get a cheesesteak.
We actually drove to Geno's to get a cheesesteak. They actually, fun Philly fact, you know, we put provolone and mozzarella on our cheesesteak and maybe some American. They actually get the liquid cheese and just douse these cheesesteaks at Geno's. And like when you go to pick it up, it's just like cheese is coming out both sides of it. Fantastic sandwich.
That sounds crazy.
Permanis.
I want that now.
But it got nothing on a Permane.
I was going to say
Thank you.
Permanis is better. I was just going to say. Actually, I would say Pepe's is better, but that's my personal take. Anyway, final words on this. Mr. Jack Dean, he has Philadelphia winning 48-16.
Oh yeah.
Lucas Coons, Philadelphia 38-30. My dad, Kansas City 27-20. And of course, yours truly, Pittsburgh's favorite Jagoff, 28-25, Kansas City. Lucas, any final thoughts, any final words going into this Super Bowl matchup? What are, anything final that you would like to add on for this?
It's going to be a good game. I will be definitely watching it.
Where are you watching it at?
I don't know yet. Trying to figure that out still.
How about you, Jack?
I'm probably not going to, just because of the fact that I have.
Because you think they're winning 48-16. I agree with you. I wouldn't
No,
watch
I
it
have
either.
to repair a car.
Oh well. Good luck for that.
Yeah, he's in the same boat Austin's in right now.
Yep.
Thanks for reminding me about my car yet again. Both of you guys
No
reminded me of
problem.
it. Not you.
You're welcome.
Any final words for the Super Bowl itself?
Are we betting? I mean, come on. I like to bet. I'm a gambler. I like to bet.
I'd love to. I'm unemployed.
You wonder where I get it from.
I would love to, but I'm unemployed. What are we betting on?
Oh my gosh. What are we here for, guys? We're here for a Super Bowl. We're betting on a Super
You
Bowl.
haven't said a bet yet. You just stick your hand
I
out.
did. Jack, will you remind him of the bet?
It was like 15 minutes ago, but yeah.
Yeah, please remind him, Jack. Help him out.
You buy him a shirt if.
Oh, the shirt
yeah,
thing,
the
yeah.
shirt, yeah.
Oh, we're on?
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, of course, we're
Listen,
not a video podcast yet. We're a visual podcast still, but they have officially shooken hands.
They shook it.
All right, listen. The only other thing I'm going to say, guys, enjoy the game. I think it's going to be a good one. I'm hoping it's a close one. I'm hoping my team comes out on top, but at the end of the day, just everybody be safe. Don't make bad decisions. Just do good stuff. Enjoy the game. Enjoy friendship, family, whatever you're going to do. Jack, hopefully your car fixing works out for you.
Thank.
All honesty, just enjoy the game. This is a big game. It's going to be fun. At my house, we're probably going to have about 20 to 25 people there. And I've already made the comment, if you're coming, you can wear Eagles gear. But if you start talking that smack, you might get tossed down some steps. I mean, just come enjoy the game. Don't be negative.
I can't believe we even have to be saying this on a podcast, a sports-related podcast of that. This is something I would usually say on the Austin Carnes show, but I'm going to be that guy for a second. Please don't commit any violence out there. At the end of the day, these are football teams. These are million-dollar athletes that could give a damn about any of us sitting in this room right now. So for people that want to go out there to purposely start violence, specifically gun violence, or any kind of violence for that matter, please just stay home, make the better decision. Dad, I'm glad you're wearing the Kansas City Strong shirt. A couple years back, there was a massive shooting that happened. It was a damn shame. It was a tragedy. We covered it on the podcast.
That was at the Super Bowl
It was
parade.
at the Super Bowl parade. Thank
Yeah.
you. That is not something that us sports analysts and sports podcasters and sports media aficionados should be covering. At the end of the day, these are two great organizations filled with talent on both sides of the ball. We should sit back, relax, enjoy it with our friends, enjoy it with our families, our peers, and watch the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is supposed to be a spectacle. It's supposed to be a one-time-a-year thing where you get to see people you don't typically see, you get to have fun, eat the favorite foods that you love, and watch a good football game. So for anybody that wants to start the violence out there, just do yourself a favor and stay your ass home.
And I'll add to that, I love messing with people. Lucas, you know that.
I'm
What a
very
transition.
aware of that.
Same.
Jack, you know that now. Austin knows
Oh,
this.
yeah.
That's my nature. I like banter, as I'll call it. I love going at people, and it's never malicious. It's never hurtful. And if it ever gets to that level, I would shut it down in a heartbeat because that's not my intention. To me, I work around 480, 500 guys and women all day. That's all we do because it's a monotonous job. We just have friendly banter. We go at each other. I call people yinzers and
You
all
were
that.
just strangling Steely McBeam like 10 minutes ago.
Well, it was a friendly strangle. That's all it
What a
was.
friendly strangle.
But all I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, if the Chiefs win or lose, I'm still going to wake up. I still have a beautiful wife, 2 beautiful children. I have a lot of friends and family. It does not.
Maybe one beautiful child.
It does not matter if the Chiefs win in my life. Yes, it would be great for them to win. It would be great to see a great Super Bowl. All I'm trying to say is, it's just a game. It's a game we played as kids. It's a game I'm watching as an adult. Just enjoy the atmosphere. And maybe me and Jack put it in some Super Bowl ears where they put up a boxing ring and they have the Drake and Kamar fist fight. I don't know. Hey, did Kendrick Lamar, real quick,
Yeah.
is he signed by Dr. Dre?
I have no clue.
I believe he is because I could have swore I seen him at an award show where he threw a shout out to Dr. Dre. And if so, shout out to Dr. Dre. I mean, because he just finds talent everywhere he goes. The headphones, everything he touches just turns to gold. You want to talk about somebody great? That's somebody great.
Keep their heads ringing. Ring.
Everything he touches is gold. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say the headphones?
Yeah, is
Dre
it Beats by Dre?
Yeah.
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 Those are nice headphones.
Oh, fantastic.
5 Beats.
All right, with that being said, just enjoy the Super Bowl. And if you're watching it, if you're not watching, just enjoy it. Just remember, anybody can root for any team. They can support whoever they want. Just like when we had the political election just recently, not to get into that, what right side, left side, you're allowed to like somebody from the other side. You guys rooted for Philly. I'd mess with you a little bit, but I respect the fact I don't agree with it, but I respect it. And that's all I'm saying you should do is respect other people's opinion and who they're cheering for. That's it for me.
I would like to add one last thing too about the Super Bowl overall. I hope the players lay it all out there on the line because at the end of the day, this is a dream that many men have had, many boys have had, to get to the Super Bowl, to play in front of their families, to play on the grandest stage of them all. This is the biggest game of the year for a reason. This is arguably the best sporting event of the year for a reason. I hope these players take it as serious as it should be because there are so many players right now out there that do it mostly just for the money or just do it for the fame and the notoriety. My message to the players that's out there is go lay it all out there on the line. Go put it all out on the football field. Dad, you played football before. You know what that's like. You laid it out on the football field night in and night out because you love what you did. I hope those players have that same mentality because at the end of the day, there are people that paid their entire life savings just to get down to New Orleans to watch their favorite team be in the Super Bowl. I hope the players take it as serious as they can. Because as of right now, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. The NBA is better than the NFL. I don't know if you guys saw all the trades and stuff that happened this past week. That's something to be heard of.
Collusion, by the way.
Luka is a Laker. Jimmy Butler is a Warrior. The NBA, the fact that we are talking more basketball during the Super Bowl week than the actual Super Bowl itself is something that should not go unnoticed. That's something that I'm surprised ESPN isn't covering or CBS or Fox. We are talking about the NBA more in Super Bowl week than the actual Super Bowl. I'm blaming the Chiefs and Eagles for that. They need to both lay it out there all on the line right now. This was the ideal matchup. Go out there and have the best game of the year. If this is a 10-5 game or a 10-6 game or like a 12-7 game, that's going to do bad numbers for the NFL. Because as of right now, the NBA, which was a dying league for many years, is outplaying and outperforming the NFL. And if you don't believe me, go back and look at the disgrace known as the Pro Bowl that we just had last Sunday. That's the point that I wanted to make. I don't know if you guys have anything to add on to that at all.
I just have one thing. South Fayette represent. Let's go, Jay Watt.
Let's go, Jay Watt. Well, you're forgetting there's another Pittsburgher for playing for the Chiefs. Sky Moore, New Kensington.
Is he on our roster?
Is he still? I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah,
Sky
he's
Moore.
still on our roster, but he ain't going to make the field. Jay Watt will make the field. I cheer for the guys on the field.
Well,
Nothing against the equipment manager, but I'm cheering for Jay Watt. I mean, I'm going for 84. I don't know what you guys are
Give the
going
Water
for.
Boy some credit.
I mean, hey, they do great jobs too, but I mean, I'm not going to cheer for a guy, Sky Moore, really. I told you they should have cut him a long time ago. And he ain't from Pittsburgh. He's from Pittsburgh. He's from out by our camp. What's that? Franklin Regional, I believe it is, or something like that way.
You want to know, guys, a stat real quick, guys? Sky Moore has more Super Bowl rings than Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and DeAndre Hopkins combined.
I'm going to give you a quick stack. I keep mentioning Jay Watt. I said it, I think when me and you were talking. When he won back-to-back state titles for South Fayette, he was not their leading receiver. Christian Baumgartner was, I believe his name was, or Baumgartner. I forget. I think that's how you say it.
I think that is it.
Is that, am I saying his
I think
last
we
name?
still I think like a sibling goes to our school.
Yeah.
I've heard that last name recently.
Well, I believe he was the better one. He went to Pitt, and Justin Watson went to an Ivy school in Penn and broke every Penn record, Ivy school record as a receiver, and that's how he got drafted in the NFL. That just goes to prove that, like, you don't have to be the best if you work the hardest, and this goes in life in general. If you work the hardest, you will get accolades. Like, you two are going to get into this field when you get older. Like, Austin, you're already on that path. Lucas, I know your path. Jack, I don't know your path. But if you work hard at something, you will achieve those accolades.
He'll be listening to us while he's working on cars.
Well, he can work on my car. I got a mechanic just like that.
Dom's our car guy.
He's the car guy?
Yeah.
Dom who?
I'm just doing it because I have to.
You wouldn't know him. His last name's Loy, though. Shout out to him.
Right, let me get his number. So
I didn't give my mom a shout out, but shout out to Dom. To Dom Loy.
Your
I
mom's
gave
gonna
Carrie
do
a
this.
shout out.
Oh, my mom wanted to give me that night.
Actually, Carrie and Jesse did finish both above you on that poll. I mean, I'm going to throw Jesse a shout out, too. He's my man. But, I mean, they definitely finished higher than you.
I don't know what I did this episode to piss him off.
I think he might have had, Jack, he might have had 12 total.
I'm just saying, I love the change of scenery. The last two Super Bowls, it felt like I was the one being victimized. It's nice to kind of like push that across the table over to you.
Do you need a hug?
I'm the one that's won. I'm the only one that's won the Super Bowl poll so far, right?
I won one. What are you talking about?
won
I
a
won it
Super
last
Bowl?
year.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
He didn't tell me.
Did my Chiefs win it? Yes, I won it.
I don't think you told me.
Hey, you know what, though? In all honesty, here's the bad thing. Even if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, his Uncle Johnny's going to win it because I believe he has 30 total, and if the Chiefs win, it's 38. And I think I would get like 34 or something like that. So even if my Chiefs win, I'm not winning that poll. I'm finishing second.
You'll still get the second place pot.
Nobody talks about second place, do they?
Still get money in your pocket.
Participation trophy.
Yeah, that's like
You make back more than $5. That's all that matters.
And why don't they keep scoring little kids basketball? Let's go with that. Why?
What?
What?
Why are we not keeping scoring basketball? My niece said they didn't keep scoring her basketball game. Like, why are they not keeping score?
What are you talking about?
Jordan, I asked her how her game was today, and she said they don't keep score. Why?
I think she goes to a really crappy school.
Well, she's 8.
So what? You keep score.
Yeah, you keep. I think
You know what I
she goes
asked
to a
her?
crappy school.
I said, how many kids you dunk on, Jordan?
Cannon Mac.
She goes to Can-Mac?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that explains the Can-Mac's insane.
South Fayette represent. Say it.
South Fayette represent.
Jack? One time.
You gotta say it once.
Do it for the one time. I did.
One time.
All right. South Fair represent.
There we go.
I'm not saying that. Go Cougars. Go Carlington. That's where I'm from. I'm from
How
Carlington. I
dare
gotta
you.
stay true to my black.
We don't
to my,
accept you in here.
to my green and gold.
You can
Huh?
leave. You can leave.
We're cutting it off.
We're cutting it off. My mic gets
you can
cut.
leave. You can leave.
At least you got the green right. You just had to add the white instead of the yellow.
Yeah.
It's the green and gold.
Green and white looks better than green.
They have like
Honestly, green and gold.
like they had
Yeah.
they had green and
We
white.
have a
And they
nice.
got,
Look what you did, Jack.
like
I
bad
didn't touch it.
contrast.
What do you mean?
The gold
had-
is like bad contrast.
he had a green and white jersey, and then like he just got dirty while playing, so it became green and gold. That's what happened.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Got a little roughed up South End.
And by the way,
Yeah.
just so you know, I mean, let's do a little history lesson. I don't know what you know about history, but like, the lion was the king of the jungle, not the cougar.
Oh yeah.
he
That's
knows a
true.
lot about history. He's Professor Carnes.
No, we're not bringing that back. We're not bringing that back. Professor Carnes. Look, last time I checked, when was the last time Southfield's basketball team made the playoffs again? When was the last time they made the playoffs? Exactly.
They have a couple state titles, too.
They have a couple state titles. You're right about
Dwayne Cann. Shout out to Dwayne Cann.
One of
the
last 10 years. Thank you very much. But go.
Rich Mack.
3 different coaches, by
Rich
the way.
Mack, by the
3
way.
different coaches.
For sure, our women's basketball team's pretty
Yeah, our
good.
women's basketball team's been the best as far as I can remember.
Can I ask you one question? Has Carrington ever won a football title?
Stop. We're not going to football. Hey, we made the playoffs for the first time in 23 years. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Professor Carhinge.
First time in 23 years.
Carhinge.
We were there. That was a good game.
It was a great game. Shout out to Devontae Dean, friend of the show, by the way. Shout out to Devontae Dean.
Devontae, yeah. I know his family real well. The Dean family's a very nice family.
Great guy. We should replace him, actually, with Lucas. Wouldn't that be a great idea, Dad? Bringing Devontae on
I'm not
instead
going
of
to throw
Lucas?
Lucas under the bus. That's nothing against Devontae Dean, but Lucas is my guy.
He's your guy. You just wanted to strangle him a couple minutes ago.
Well, that's because he was
Mr.
talking.
He said it was friendly.
It was friendly.
Yeah.
A friendly strangling.
See, whenever you strangle me in the basement, it's not friendly.
Don't ever make that statement again. That
Mr.
sounds bad for both of us.
Mr. Jack needed to unlock the door today because you forgot to.
Yeah,
And I dropped the F-bomb. We're going to lose sponsors, but he's talking about the basement, and that's not losing sponsors.
I didn't say anything about the basement or the F-bombs. That was you
Hey,
two.
Mr.
I forget what it was.
Relax.
It was a week or 2 weeks ago, but you admitted that you put me in the basement.
Good.
I'm gonna
I do
re-listen to
remember
both
you
these.
said that.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Well, either way, this is going to be a great game.
We got the receipts.
I'm very... Be quiet, Mr. Jack Dean. It is going to be a great game. I'm very much looking forward to seeing the Chiefs and Eagles. I'm very much looking forward to seeing history being made one way or the other. I just want to end this off by saying this. DeAndre Hopkins, if the Chiefs win, I'm going to be happy Hopkins get a ring. But if the Eagles win, I'm going to be very happy that Saquon Barkley gets a ring. Because even though he's a Penn State guy, he absolutely deserves it. I'm not saying that. That was a one-time
Please
thing.
don't ever say
Yeah,
that.
was
again.
a
You're
one-time
gonna say it again next week.
That's a one-time thing.
Yeah.
Dude,
Penn
he
State.
might have got... He may not be allowed to sit in our section at Pitt no more.
Should I have brought my Penn State jersey?
No, you would have
Sure,
been.
we could have burned it. We could have burned it.
I should have brought it.
Yeah, we
You
would
should
have.
have told me.
We would have burned
What
it,
jersey
Jack.
do you have?
I have that one signed one that's like for 8-year-olds. I somehow fit in.
Which player was that? I forget.
I forget. No.
Okay.
You're the one that told me.
All right, well, to end off on 2 Jagoffs, Dad, thank you so much for coming on. Lucas, Mr. Jack Dean, it's been a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Tune in on Thursday where me, my dad, and Lucas will be recapping the Super Bowl. We will be going over all of the NFL awards. We'll be talking about the MVP, the offensive and defensive player, offensive and defensive rookie of the years, the coach of the year, and so much more. And we're finally going to get into those Pittsburgh Penguins. You got a preview of it earlier on from our banter that we had. But we're going to dive into the Pittsburgh Penguins. Lots of big moves were officially made. And some more NBA trades happened as well. All that and much more will be talked about on Thursday. Again, big announcement. We are now on YouTube, Spotify, YouTube, Podchaser, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Go run up the numbers on there. You guys have been doing great. We appreciate all the support. Not only that, Lucas puts out some excellent content on the social media pages, so check out the Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter. That's all it's gonna be here on 2 Jagoffs for the week. Lucas, Dad, Mr. Jack Dean, thank you all so much for showing up, and thank you all so much to the listeners for tuning in. Until next time, we will see you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.